Hey, have you ever had one of those really great vacations? Like a vacation where you just kind of chill out and don't do too much? That's what I'm doing. Welcome to the superpilotish channel. My name is Graham Wilson, and today in my Airbnb, I'll be talking to you about just kind of an update on what's going on in my little newfound vacation spot of El Salvador. Now, let me just adjust my little funny camera here so you can look up my nose some more. But yeah, here we are. I don't know what you can see behind me. Can you see the ocean? I don't know. It's kind of weird lighting here, and I didn't know exactly where to set up. But I'll just give you a little bit of a report, and hopefully I won't wake up Jonathan, the cat that's kind of sleeping over here. There's a house cat here named Jonathan, and he likes to snooze during the daytime and eat lots of food. So last time I did a little report. I was in the town of Berlin in Usulatan, and I didn't. The day after that, we went for a hike up a volcano. So I mean, there's volcanoes all over the place here in El Salvador. Some are more active than others, but this one was, I guess, semi-active. We walked right down into the crater, and that was a gigantic hike. We asked the tour guide. His name was Don Julio, and we asked him like, oh, we don't want to do the monster hike for like 5 hours. So he's like, oh, I'll give you the easy one. And then that was only the 4-hour hike way up this mountain. And oh, hey, Wrench, and hello, Mon Amour. So we hooked up with this dude, Don Julio. So it was him, his daughter came along, and his dog. I forget the name of his dog. It was like this cute little dog, just ran all over the place up and down this mountain, like we're dying and everything. And this dog's just ripping all over the place. That's probably the most fit dog I've ever seen. Oh, hey, Vanessa Kitty, welcome too. So so I'll tell you a little bit about our volcano hike. We started, and it was really interesting in Berlin that this volcano is just so close to the town. Like the town is basically on the side of this volcano, and and which is a weird place to live, you'd think. But it's a really good coffee country there, apparently, and the coffee likes the soil and the climate of the region. And there you go. They grow a lot of coffee there. And we even walked by one place, and our guide Don Julio was saying I think it was a 100-acre coffee farm, and half of it went to Starbucks, and the other half went to I forget the other place. But they're sell lots of coffee there. Yeah, so we start off right at the downtown, the main square. Like a lot of these little towns here in El Salvador, they have the church, and then right across from the church is the town square kind of thing. So Berlin's set up just like that. And so we met him down in front of the church, and we just start walking up the hill and walking and walking and walking and walking. And then, the hill was at first kind of paved with kind of cobblestones. And then the next thing you know, like we're on this dirt path, and I'm asking Don Julio, I'm like, is this actually a road we're on? He's like, oh yeah. And it's like just a dirt road, with like washed out little bits and stuff. And we saw like there's some girl riding down this horrible road on a scooter with a kid on the back, no helmets, just putt banging all the plastic around on the scooter. Pretty rough. And but I don't know, people get around here somehow. And we kept walking and walking and walking way up this steep hill. But the cool thing that Don Julio kind of tells you about now, as a gardener myself and my girlfriend, she's a gardener too, of course. So he was pointing out all the native plants and stuff that would be used, I don't know, for just health. He'll say, oh, here's this. You put that in some hot water like tea, and then that's good for your digestion. But the coolest thing about that, the little plant, excuse me as I itch my foot here, there's just a few little bugs around here. It's kind of tropical. So this one plant, I'd never heard of it before, and I wish I could remember the name. He's like, yeah, this plant will remove tattoos. And like, I mean, he didn't speak English, so we did the best we could with our little phones with our Google Translate on it and everything. And he like pointed out on his arm. He's like, yeah, I got rid of a tattoo here. And I'm like, well, how long did that take? He's like, yeah, about 5 minutes. And I'm thinking, what? This is like some kind of miracle plant if it can remove tattoos. If he's right, I don't know. It just seems too good to be true. But you'd be putting a lot of that'd be a real good solution for, I don't know, somebody to develop this plant, just sell it in some kind of tattoo removal lotion. Yeah. So the what else was I talking about there? Yeah. So that was really cool, and we were climbing up, and I don't even know how you would be able to do this without a guide. Like some of the parts were pretty, I don't know, treacherous. It's like this just a little tiny path, and then you're like, you could fall like straight down. Like there's no safety regulations around here in this country. It's, I mean, you got to wear a helmet on your motorcycle, but that's kind of optional, and no one ever does up the strap underneath, so it's kind of useless. But yeah, it was just like, all right, good luck. So that's why I'm not doing any zip lining here or anything. Like, I don't know how good those welds are. There's no building inspectors doing anything. It cuts down on your costs, though. Yeah, so we went up to this crater, and it was just kind of like, oh yeah, it's only another 10 minutes. It's another 20 minutes. You want to go? Yeah, sure. Anyways, after about 4 hours of hiking up and down this volcano, like we're just dead. I'm dying. But we're pretty happy we did it, and it was Don Julio was a really good tour guide, and all this knowledge that he got, he was telling us that it's usually, I think he was descended from, like, he almost looked like a North American Indian, really, in the way he walked and the way he kind of looked, features on his face and stuff. So, I mean, I worked with lots of Indians and stuff like that, and he kind of acted like that. It must be some kind of American Indian kind of culture thing. And so anyways, he said that usually all this knowledge of all these plants, medicinal or just general health, it's usually passed down by the females in the family, like an oral tradition. And but he didn't have any sisters, so mom gave him all the knowledge, and he was passing on that to his daughter to continue the tradition. So that was kind of neat. Oh, Shecky's here. Hey. Yeah, so that was that. And then, okay, enough of Berlin. We thought, okay, let's go check out. This is like, we're down by the beach here, and we're staying in this place called Atami. Now, we got a ride from this guy. His name is Osmin, and nice guy. He gave us a ride down here, and he'd never actually kind of been to this specific town. Or it's like all these places along the ocean are sort of gated communities. So there, you go through a guard to get in, and they just know, yeah, we're the two tall gringos. Yeah, they never ask us for any ID or anything. And so, yeah, we were coming in here, and the roads here, we drove from Berlin down to here to a place called Atami. And it's like, you got to be really on it driving around here. I mean, people are just, buses are passing you, trucks are passing each other around blind corners and stuff. It's like, you got to really be on your game here. And they have these gigantic speed bumps sometimes when it comes into a town or like a little village or something like that. And sometimes they're painted, sometimes they're not. Sometimes there's a warning sign, sometimes there isn't. And like, we just smoked this one. Boom, we're hit our heads off the ceiling. I thought this guy broke his suspension or something. It was like, But yeah, oops, sorry, it was mean. And yeah, I tipped the guy a little bit extra because I think he might need a new work on his car get done or something like that. But anyways, so yeah, we got here, and then another thing that they don't really have any regulations. It's like the grade of roads and stuff like that. Like in here, they just took like a bunch of rocks from the beach and they just kind of paved the roads with them, so they're super bumpy. And to get up here was the steepest hill I've ever driven on. I didn't drive it. And the wheels were spinning on these stones trying to get up. I thought this guy's going to, I don't know, he's going to blow his transmission out or something. It's like, oh, man. Oh, we got out of the car. So that lightened it up, and then he could make it up. We walked up the rest. So anyways, that was quite the steep hill. And the locals here know about that steep hill. If we like order food, they come the other way where it's not quite so steep. But anyways, that's the trick to Atami in here. And yeah, so we got in, and so anytime you're getting an Airbnb or something like that, you got to go into town and get some food, beer, whatever you got to get. And so we took an Uber from here into La Libertad. Costs about $7 or something like that. The Ubers down here in El Salvador are pretty cheap. And the quality of your car that you get can be kind of mixed. So the first car that we got to go into the grocery store in town, it was like no air conditioning, all dirty and dusty. But the guy that like took us back, he had like this nice looking, I forget what the name of it was. They don't sell it in North America. It's a Volkswagen. I forget what it is. It kind of looked like a Jetta or a Passat, something like that. And he had it all nice and clean, and like it was good air conditioned, good condition car. And yeah, so the things are kind of hit and miss down here. But that's half the fun. And so yeah, we went down there. And if you're wondering about getting food down here, a lot of people ask, how expensive is it down in El Salvador? Is it cheap? So, I mean, here our Airbnb, we got basically it's 2-bedroom house with a pool with a little view of an ocean behind us here. And I think it was about a little under $100 a night. So, yeah, I mean, so the accommodations here can be kind of cheap, but you kind of, you get what you pay for here. The very cheapest of the cheap, like, yeah, like I said, there's no real regulations on anything. So you could be looking at some strange plumbing or wiring or, oops, if it's really cheap. And then if it's, yeah, and then if you want to go really high end, I mean, down at the end of down by the beach here, there's this really expensive resort. You pay like kind of standard, I don't know, something you'd pay for in, I don't know, in Florida or something like that. And it's like, 5-star quality. We went down to the restaurant there. That's more expensive because it's nice, but you can also get really cheap food. We had, when we were in Berlin, we had, there was this little place that was open for about 2 hours a night from 6 till 8 across from where we were staying. And we got, they sell these things called pupusas down here. It kind of looks like a pancake, but it's like what would be like corn flour or rice flour with cheese, and then they got this other stuff. Yeah, you can get different things in it, but yeah, so we got like, and 3 of these things will fill you up. So we got, what was it, 2 beers, 6 pupusas, and it was like $5.50. So that can be pretty cheap. So I don't know, it's hit and miss, and you really do get what you pay for. So what else can we tell you? Yeah, so I'll tell you, we went down to the restaurant here at the resort, and it was like, let's check it out. It's a little bit pricier than I would want, but you're on vacation, you always get ripped off anyways, right? So I went down there, and it's like, we're reading the menu, and it's like, it's like some fish, and you can have fries with it. It's like, it sounds like fish and chips or something. Well, I don't know. There's call me the gringo that I am, but the way they serve their fish here is like, I've never seen it before in my life, and I didn't even know how to eat it. It was like, okay, here's a few French fries, but here's your fish. So they took a fish, they took the scales off of it, took the guts and the brain out, slammed it in a fryer. And it's like, it's got the head, it's got the tail, it's got the fins on it and everything. I'm like, what do I eat here? How do I cut it? And there's like, there's meat around the head. There's meat around the tail. Okay, I'll chop the head and the tail. I'll eat the rest. Some of the bones are there, some weren't. And it was just like, how do you eat this stuff? I guess I'd look like some kind of weirdo to the natives here, or to the people that live here, but they probably know how to eat a fish like that, but I have no clue. So I was hungry, so I managed to eat it. And then, yeah, so that was something I'd never seen before, where here's your fried fish, slam it in the fryer. Okay, I'm gonna have to check out a YouTube video to figure out how to eat these fish. And then and yesterday we thought, okay, let's go down. I wanted to take the chicken bus, so they got these buses all over the place. And the busing system down here is really interesting, because they even in, like, out here by the ocean, or even in the capital, San Salvador, they get all these old school buses from the United States that maybe are broken down. They fix them all up. I think I mentioned that before. And so we were thinking, where do you pick these things up? I don't know. But we kind of left our little gated community, went across the road checked out a couple little stores or something, little shacks by the side of the road. And then we noticed people waiting. And then we thought, I think that's a bus stop. And then well, let's try going there. And we kind of went out, see people waiting around. Looks like a bus stop to me. And then so we asked, we ran into this guy. And apparently he had lived in the United States for 30 years. And he retired and he moved back here to El Salvador. And that's kind of a big thing that's happening down here, is that there's a lot of people that were born here, moved away, got their jobs and stuff. They're moving back. And so they're moving back with money. They're building houses. There's construction going on all over the place here. Even in the little community here, there's like tons of construction workers everywhere. And women too. I'd say there's probably about, out of all the construction workers we've seen, maybe about 10% women, which is a little bit more than up in North America. You'd have, I don't know, maybe 2% women doing construction work on roads and stuff like that. And they're usually holding the sign. These girls are like, they're moving gravel around and stuff. So they're, that was kind of interesting to see. But yeah, this guy came back and he said that, like, he retired, came back here. He said, that's it. It's beautiful down here. And he said that recent changes have been made by the government to just kind of make it a little safer down here. And he said that the people are so much happier now. So that's right from the local. So that's what we found too. Everyone's pretty pleasant, pretty nice. And they try to keep from laughing when we try to speak Spanish to them, but that's the way it is. And I might have mentioned that before, that you won't find too many people that speak English down here. But oh well, that's what you get to brush up on your Spanish skills. And so we took that bus, and it was like, yep, this old school bus. And it's weird. I don't know exactly how to pay for it. And the old guy was saying, you'll probably pay 25 cents for it. Okay, so I get like a couple quarters, U.S. quarters, and I give it to the guy, and he points at his sign, and it says 45 cents. I'm like, oh, okay. So I gave him a buck or whatever, and for the both of us, and on the bus we went. We went to a place called El Tunco, which is not too far from here, and that is the party place on the weekend for the. We just figured it out. Figured we'd check it out because it's kind of like a really touristy kind of place, and it's nice. It's and you can see like I'm too old. I'm not going to be going partying on the weekend there, but you could see there was bars all over the place and restaurants, and all kinds of like surf shops and stuff like that. Lots of surfers hanging out around here, and so that was El Tunco was pretty nice. What would you say? I'd say it would probably be you're paying tourist prices for things. Looking at like bottle of wine or just general things in the store, bag of chips. Seems to me it was a little bit more expensive, but that's your tourist trap. You'd get that anywhere. And I got this weird bench. I'm trying to figure out the best way to sit on it, but so you do that. And DH Pilot 1 is here too. Hey. So we were there in the touristy place. There are tons of bars. Like that place must be an absolute zoo on the weekend. So I go to bed early, so I'm not going to be going down there to party. But I mean, if you're in your 20s or something, that'd be a lot of fun. So I went to El Tunco, and then on the way back, we took another chicken bus. I thought, okay, I know what I'm doing here. It's 50 cents. So, or 45 cents or something like that. And I didn't even know where the bus stop was either. It's like we just kind of went across the street from where the other bus left us off. And you see a bus, you kind of wave it down. Like there's no signs that says bus stop. It's just you just know that's where the bus stops. So I did find one map, not on Google Maps, but I found some other map that had that. But anyways, I'll have to see if I can find that again. But then you get on there. But this one was a little different. It had some guy that was like a kind of like a conductor of the bus. So sometimes you'll see these buses, there'll be the driver, and then there's a guy that takes the money. It's different. Whereas the first bus, the driver took the money. Other times there'll be like some guy hanging off. He'd probably help old ladies get on the, or someone that can't get on the bus, or help take their bags, or a lot of shopping bags. Like a lot of people just, they go into town on the bus, do the shopping, and bring it back home. So, yeah, what was I saying there? Okay, so yeah, we got on the bus. It's all filled up, and it's this. I don't know how old this bus was coming back here. It had to be. Oh, hey, an airplane flying by. That's pretty cool. Don't see that too much. What is that? Typical pilot. It's like airplane. What? Yeah, some kind of tail dragger. I don't know. Maybe an older Cessna 170 or something like that, high wing. But yeah, so this bus looked like it was from like the 1950s or something like that. Like it was just like flat nosed bus, and yeah, and it had a stick shift in there. And so this guy's doing all the shifting with the stick shift. It almost had like a transmission out of like a big rig. Like it had some really low gears. Like it was to get going. He's shift, 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 and then so he's got some real stump puller gears there. And and so I'm standing up. There was no room there, so I'm standing up trying to hold on to these bars and stuff like that. And it was, and then I told them, "Hey, I'm going to a Tommy," and they're like, whatever." And so they drove kind of by the main gate here, and I thought, are they gonna? And then, that was another thing too. You got to, like, if you want to get off on the bus, usually you pull a cord or you hit a button, it goes ding, and there's a light that goes on. Not there, not down here. Apparently, there's some button you can push, but I saw something. I think it was just an LED light to help light up the bus at night or something. It was like, that's not a button. Anyways, we managed to stop, got back here. Everything worked out okay on the chicken bus. So they're, yeah. Oh, okay, got to go, DH Pilot 1. Thanks for popping in, bud. And yeah, so that's where we're at right now. And then, so if you're wondering about the weather too, okay, so it's nice. We got like a little bit of a breeze going here, but I would say the weather down here, it's been pretty consistently. It's about the same as Miami in the summertime. So it's hot and it's humid. And the other day, trying to make it up this hill to get back to our Airbnb, I thought it was dying, and I was like, oh, I must be dehydrated. But we were walking all over the place, just sweating, and you got to drink a lot of water down here, otherwise you could be in rough shape. But yes, bring some with you. And yeah, so that's about it for my update for today. And I think just like on my last show, I can't really bring up the comments, but I'll scroll through and I'll read out if there's any questions or anything like that. Wrench is first asked, still there, moving down. As it is right now, no, not moving down here, but it could be a great place to come next year. I'm seriously considering that. Okay, and then Wrench was also asking here when I was talking about the road, gravel road or dirt road. There's a difference. Yeah, no, this was a dirt road that we were walking up. It's dirt. Like there's no rain right now. It's the dry season, and it just doesn't rain here. So for a few months, and then I think they said April, it starts raining for about 6 months all the time. So the roads would be a total muddy mess. Like no gravel, it's just dirt. And then some of the steeper places, I guess probably in the rainy season, they got some rocks and just stuck them in there. But it's like your car's driving over boulders. You couldn't do it in a regular car. You'd have to have a 4x4 of some description. I did see some guy drove up there in a Jeep Cherokee too, so that's doable. But yeah, no gravel, just dirt, man. And what else we got here? Wrench was guessing at a Volkswagen Fox. It was not a Volkswagen Fox. That bugs me. I can't remember that. I wonder if you know what? I'm going to do the research on that. Let's go to the Volkswagen dealership here in El Salvador. Volkswagen El Salvador. All right. We're doing research on the fly here to figure out what kind of car that was. I think it started with an A. I'm sure I'll hit it here. I do not want to translate that. Menu. We got models, modelos. I'm guessing that means models. Polo. Oh, the guy said he used to have a Volkswagen Polo that he really liked, but we have. Oh, don't really see it. Maybe they stopped making it. Yeah, no golf. Okay. Yeah, he said it was a 2022. So I'd wager it was probably a Passat then, because they stopped making those. And anyways, that's my guess. El Salvador and Passat had lots of legroom. Passats have lots of legroom in the back, so that was good. And then DH Pilot was asking, "What the H am I doing here?" Hanging out, man. So what else we got? And oh, okay. And the wrench was also asking for a little clarification of riding in old school buses, but seats taken out, just benches on sides. No, they had actual school bus seats. It was like a flashback to being in, third grade or whatever, something like that. Yeah, they had kids padded seats. It was a school bus. And okay. Okay, and the Wrench also did a little comment here. I know you like the Volkswagen's Fox was South America only, stopped in 2015, and Tiguan, it was not a Tiguan. It was like a sedan kind of thing. It wasn't. Yeah, I could just research that here, but I'd be wasting all your time. It'd be pretty boring. So that's about it. Oh, it looks like Jonathan the cat's stretching over here. I'm glad I didn't wake him up. Actually, maybe I'll show you Jonathan the cat. Here we go. Move my water cup over here. We'll see if you can see Jonathan the cat here. Got my little cheat sheet. Yeah, I'll throw that here. All right. Let's see if you can see Jonathan the cat down here. See him underneath there? Yep, he's right underneath that little table. There you go. Having a snooze. Yeah, he kind of works the night shift. He meows and meows for some food, and then we give it to him, and then he starts his night shift and just takes off. Then when we find him in the morning, he's always meowing when we get up, and then we give him more food and water and stuff, and then he just sleeps around all day like a cat. So there we go. You got to meet Jonathan the cat here. And okay. So yeah, that's right. We got a little gato there. Nice. Oh, same color as Shecky's. That's cool. Okay, so that's about it. Plan for today is we're going to be, I haven't been to the beach here yet, so we're going to walk down and go to the beach. Like, it's just super hot, so I gotta at least say that I put my toe in the Pacific Ocean. I've done it before, I'm just not here. And then walking up the hill, we're going to get all sweaty and stuff, so probably jump in the pool, and all luxurious for $100 a night, not too bad. And then we're going to go for lunch and find some. We got a couple restaurants that are just outside of the gated community. I can see them up the hill over there. Shouldn't be too much of a walk, but it's good exercise. I think I've been losing my gut here a little bit too. Combination of not a lot of meat around. I've just been eating a lot of cheese and tortillas and stuff. Getting kind of sick of that. But anyways, the old beach bod is. I'm transforming from the bar bod to the beach bod. So. Okay, that is about it. And okay, well, nice to see you guys. And I'll probably do a show next week at some point. We'll see. I'm on vacation. I'm not going to spend all my time editing video and just having to be somewhere. So that's about it. And like and subscribe. So okay, that's about it. Don't have anything else for you, so we'll just end it right there. How do I usually say it? I kind of run out of my usual little shtick. That's it. We'll shut her down here. So it's like we'll shut her down. Thank you for watching. Bye.